you guys, I'm Gigi, and I hate the term body positivity.
And that's on Period Sis. Hey guys, I'm your host, Mandy B, and welcome to another episode of Period Sis. Social media filters, plastic surgery, Photoshop, all have contributed to the world's skewed version of reality. All right? Remember that thing, reality? The one that we no longer live in, because who are these people that you're even meeting anymore? You don't see them, know them from online or when you meet them. I'm joined by 31-year-old Gigi from New York to talk about body dysmorphia and societal pressures about body image. Today, we'll learn some formal and informal steps that you can take to address body dysmorphia and the importance of understanding that there just isn't a positive or negative view on your body. There is, however, a third option, and that's neutral. So I'm excited to have this conversation. Y'all know this is another one near and dear to me. So stay tuned for more on Period Sis Podcast. Gigi, thank you so much for joining me on Period Sis today to talk about something that is actually near and dear to me. But before we start, I want to allow you to introduce yourself to our audience.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to talk about this. Before I introduce myself, this is the first time I'm on a public platform talking about this. So this is the first time I'm getting vulnerable about my insecurities.
Really?
Yes, people see me in a different light than when I see myself. So people see me as confident. She has her shit together. So you get to be able to say I broke the cherry first.
Oh boy. Well, listen, the Kleenex are right here. This definitely is one of the topics that, just like you, I was very insecure about and hid it. And it wasn't until, over the last couple of years that I've been able to talk about how I felt uncomfortable in my body at times. And so thank you for allowing me to have this conversation with you. I still want the audience to get to know a little bit more about you, though, before we really just spread our souls to them.
So my name is Gigi. I am a host and a moderator. Most recently, because I got laid off, I was a legal assistant at BET, and now I'm just finding myself. In those type of words.
Are we all? I feel like we're all kind of finding ourselves, especially after the pandemic. We lost, time just seemed to fly, but now we're kind of getting back to normalcy. I do want to also start off just because I talk to so many women. Where are you in, I would say, what age are you? Just like
I'm
generationally.
30. I'll be 31 tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. Not the woo woo in the back. Okay, so you are embarking, and that's the thing. I know 30s are the new 20s, but you're about to also be embarking on being in your 30s and just your mind changes about everything. All the things you thought you knew about yourself, you don't. And then this is also the time in your life where you're really addressing the things that you probably were trying to just put in the back of your mind.
Absolutely.
And I guess I want to start there. Let's go back to adolescence. Or when do you remember your first time feeling almost outside of your body or not safe or comfortable in your own body?
I will say I never had an issue with my body until other people had an issue with it.
Really?
So
Okay.
I remember I grew up in the underground dance scene in New York, and I knew a lot of girls bigger than me, my size, who danced down, do the brown to the ground. And I remember my mom would pay for me to do acting classes, dance classes, because she was also in the arts and she supported it. And I remember my dad, love my dad, down to the ground, love you, don't take no shade from this. But I remember him saying to me, like, oh, you want to take dance seriously? I don't think you can because dancers are slim. And that's the first time someone's ever commented on my weight. And
How old were you?
I was probably at least 12 or 13.
Oh, wow.
And I was busty at that age, so most of it was really boobs. I wasn't as big as I am now. So I was just like, what do you mean slim? I'm like, I'm not big. And I'm like, I know dancers who are big who dance, but also it's hip hop. I'm not doing ballet. So it was that comment. And then in school, I was a popular girl in school, but if someone wanted to hurt my feelings, they'll say, oh, the fat girl. And I'll be like, okay now.
Because you never used those words to describe yourself.
Never. I never saw myself as big. So it was weird that people are saying these things to me. And then that's when I started obsessing over myself, comparing myself to others. I looked at all my sisters and I'm like, all my sisters are small. I'm the big one. And I'm like, am I fat? Maybe I am fat. And then I'm looking at TV and I'm like, that's when I started focusing because I didn't really I wouldn't say I didn't care about it, but I didn't notice anything.
Right.
Until people started making comments, and then I'm started comparing myself, like, because if so many people start saying the same thing, you're like, okay, maybe I am fat.
So you were even questioning, like, you know what? If all these people are saying...
It must be true.
Oh, wow. And so you're dealing with this 12, 13, 14...
16, I started saying boys don't like me because I'm fat. And
I wanted to get into that. Like, of course, parents want to act like we're not dating or we're not liking boys or getting into really figuring life out with a partner in middle school and high school, but we are. And so then I do want to talk about early on, what was then your relationship with men? Did you feel like you were fetishized? Did you feel like they just didn't want to talk to you because of your weight? Did they add to your insecurity?
My first boyfriend
Come on, air quotes.
was in 5th grade.
Okay.
I will never forget him. His name was William Pittman. He was actually a nice guy.
The fact that we all know the first and last names of our first boyfriend, shout out to Jonathan Butler, okay?
Because I just couldn't fathom that he liked me. I'm like, oh, like he was passing notes to me and stuff. And I self-sabotaged it because I was like, there's no way he really likes me.
Oh, wow.
And I just kind of just broke up with him because I didn't feel comfortable. And I also was shy around boys, but it was always the boys that I liked that didn't like me that made my self-esteem worse. I had like the most traumatic, like in 4th grade, I had the most traumatic Valentine's Day experience.
A traumatic 4th grade Valentine's Day is crazy.
Kids were cool growing up younger. Like, in short, I'm gonna give you a short version of it. So it's Valentine's Day, and I had a crush on this boy named Alvin, and I think the class played a prank on me because everyone knew I had a crush on him, even the teacher knew. And he gave me a bag of candy, you know, the little tart heart thing with the words on it. And I ate one, and then a girl told me in the bathroom at lunch, like, I don't think anyone told you. She said, so I'm gonna tell you, don't say I said anything. She was like, yeah, he spit in the candy and threw it on the floor. And ever since then, I never liked Valentine's Day because I was just like,
oh no.
Yes. And I equated that to he doesn't like me because I'm fat. So anytime I liked the guy and I looked at the girls he liked, I'm comparing myself to the girls that he liked.
Did you still continue doing that into high school and then as an adult? Like, is that something to where, okay, I'm going on a date, I want to see what your ex looks like. I want to see if I'm even your type.
All the time. All the time. Even now, but it's not as bad because I've worked through it. But I definitely would... I'll be scared to go on dates, and because I'm plus size, and I don't know if you had this experience where you're like, I'm plus size, so everything has to be on point. So if my nails are not done, I'm not going on a date. If my hair is not done,
oh no, girl, I was poor. I was big and poor, bitch. I was hoping I could get my nails done. To me, it's crazy because I know I never looked like the girls that were fucking the same guys I was fucking. But it was crazy is the women, when they found out that the men were dealing with me.
Fat girls now?
Literally, I remember the women actually coming to them like, ill, that's what you like, or even some of them DMing me and calling me all types of names because of my size. Because what's crazy is they were comparing themselves to me on some, how are you and I talking to the same man? And so I want to get into your 20s. Because I think that's some of the most, I know people think like your teenage years are so crucial. No, your 20s is where A, you think you know it all. B, you're grown. You're really dating. You're really having sex. You're now buying your own clothes. Heavy on sex. And I think I'm going through where I realized I was using sex to validate myself.
I was just about to say that. I was too.
So let's get into that. You're in your 20s. You're insecure about your body. But men are fucking. And so that's making you feel better about yourself. But is it really?
It's making me feel wanted because this man wants to have sex with me, not realizing men will fuck a doorknob.
They will fuck a chicken sandwich. I say it all the time.
Like, they don't care.
At what point did you realize, or did you start feeling empty and that the sex wasn't validating you in how you felt about your body?
When I've noticed that my best friend at the time, she was always in a relationship and she was having experiences that I wasn't having. Like what? Like date nights. I wasn't having that. I was just linking with guys and having sex. No one was getting me anything for Valentine's Day. No one was texting me and saying, hey, I was thinking about you. So there was no romantic aspect. And of course I put on the show in front of my friends like, I don't care. I'm going to fuck these niggas and da-da-da. But really,
am I talking to myself right now?
I feel like it's a universal experience for us, like thick girls. Like I was overly just trying to show I'm confident, I don't care. But then when you sit at home and everyone's on dates, you can't relate. And I think that for me, and also my body count was getting high, and I was like, girl, you doing too much. When I got to a point where I would go out and I'll see like 3 guys that I've had sexual relations with in the same spot.
And you were like, yeah, I gotta
I'm like, I'm
slow
doing
this
too
down.
much. But also I'm not happy. Like it just didn't feel good anymore. And it was like, and at a very young age, I realized that I want the romance with the sex. So I've started, being celibate. I started requiring more. But then with that, and I struggled with that, I don't think I mastered that until like I was 28. Because even with that, guys didn't want to date me. So I'm like, I resulted back to, okay, I'm going to just have sex then.
Why do you feel like guys didn't, like, are you leaning fully into they didn't want to date me because I'm a big girl?
Yeah, I felt that way. Because you know what it was? I would hang out with my friends, and I have a plethora of beautiful friends. I have friends who are just naturally good bodies and girls who got BBLs. And what I've noticed is when I go out with them, and they didn't do anything to make me feel no type of way. My friends love me down. I would notice that when guys would come and talk to them, I'm always the one that, even if it was a guy left over, he won't approach me. And then there'll be times where they'll say things like, oh my God, you're actually cute, or your personality is amazing. And I'm just saying like, well, duh. And it's just like you just saw a plus size girl and you didn't want to approach me. And I feel like some guys are shallow.
Yeah.
And they don't have the confidence to be able to say, this is my girl, I don't care what her size is, I like her.
I absolutely experienced the same. Let's talk about how you started finding confidence in yourself and body. I know that there was therapy that you started. So how did that come about?
So I started therapy after I had a breakup with my friends, and I've noticed that it wasn't just not feeling good, I wasn't myself. Everyone knows me, I'm super active, I'm outside, I'm fun, and I didn't have the need to go outside anymore. I was kind of isolating myself, and that's when I was like, something's wrong. So I sought out a therapist, and I used Taraji's foundation, Boris Lawrence Henson.
Wow.
She has a program for black men to get free therapy, and I applied. I wasn't a black man, and I
You
got
said
it.
I identify as one.
I
We
was
can
like,
be whatever we say we
I
are.
need it.
Oh wow, and you qualified.
Yeah, they didn't say nothing. I was a woman, and they still gave it to me. I found my therapist. She was amazing.
I love that.
And we dug deep. Like, she noticed, she said the trauma from the friendship, but then she was the one who pointed out the body thing to me, because she noticed that in our sessions, I'm always fully made up. I'm always like looking at myself. Like, you know on a Zoom when someone's not looking at you. She'll notice I'm like looking at myself, fixing my hair. And she's like, why do you keep doing that? I'm like, doing what? She was like, you're like fixing yourself. It's just me. And she was just being in her house talking to me. And I'm like, I don't know. She's like, you going anywhere? I'm like, no. Throughout my sessions, I've started stripping away certain things. So I've started coming to my sessions in a hoodie and a bonnet, and not with the lashes and the full face, to get comfortable and get vulnerable. But when the depression came, I was just in the house. I was sad. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And I was eating. And that made me gain more weight. And I remember...
I mean, what is it, depression eating? Like
I'm not even hungry. I'm just in the house just
That's
snacking.
a real thing. That's a real thing.
I'm just sleeping, and I was working from home. So I'm sleeping, working, and eating. Not coming outside. And it was weird because I'll post old videos like I'm outside, and people like, when someone hits me up like, oh, you want to go out? I'm like, yeah, I haven't been feeling well, I'm not going out. Girl, you was out last week and you always out. And I'm like, no, I'm really not. So people didn't even know anything was wrong with me for a very long time.
Wow.
And it didn't hurt my feelings, but it taught me that my friends probably don't even really know me, because I'm not even showing them the real me when I'm vulnerable. They only see Jionne when she's put together, Jionne when she's doing her podcast, Jionne when she's on the red carpet. They don't see when I'm actually suffering, and they didn't see the signs.
Aside from the men, what else made you feel uncomfortable with yourself? I know for me, moving to New York and having to layer during the wintertime, it was jackets, not fully being able to close, and boots. Oh, baby. Now that I used to cry. I used to cry at the store because I'm in New York. Mind you, I'm a Florida girl, but now I need boots because it's cold, and boots wouldn't fit me.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
So I want to know what experiences for you that maybe you cried yourself to. No one knew this was something that I cried about, was boots. What things for you brought those insecurities in silence for you, like in private?
I was limiting myself. In the summertime, I don't go out. I always say it's because I don't like the heat. It's really because I don't like the way I look without a sweater. Or I can't wear my bodysuit in the summertime because I have to wear a spaghetti strap. I don't like my arms. Like even now I'm wearing like long sleeves because I hate my arms. Like it was just so many things. And I was like, going on cruises with my friends, going on vacation, I don't want to go to the beach. I don't want to go to the spa and I'm making it seem like, oh, those things are just not for me. When really, I just don't feel comfortable in the way I look. So I don't like putting on a bathing suit. So when people talk about vacations, in my head, I'm like, I would never experience that because I don't never want a man to see me in a bathing suit.
Wait, have you been?
I've gone, but
have you been? You've been in a bathing suit.
Yes, I have.
Okay,
I have,
but it's just not the best experience for you.
I wear cover ups. So
Okay.
I'm not fully like comfortable in it. While my friends will be turning up twerking, I'm probably like on a beach chair drinking, and I'll probably get up once in a while, but I'm not being my full fun self because I'm just having these insecurities, and no one's saying anything to me to make me feel this way. It's just me.
Wow. So outside of therapy, then, what else are you doing currently, or how are you looking to jump over this hurdle of insecurity, and how have you battled it?
I've just started becoming realistic about myself. Like, I don't like the term body positivity because I feel like...
Now I feel seen, y'all. I literally say I'm a body positive host, and this is what I like to talk about. Wait a second. Let's get into that. You don't like body positivity. You don't like the word.
I hate it.
Why?
I feel like when people think of body positivity, specifically for women like us, we think we have to wake up every morning and say, I love myself. And if the moments you don't do that, then you result to shame because you're not going to that default of, I love myself. When we're human, there are days you wake up, you don't feel yourself, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So I've taken like a neutral stance. I wake up in the morning, I look at myself and say, girl, it is what it is, and I go brush my teeth.
Not girl, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Like, this is what you look like.
Wow.
Either you accept it or you're always going to be miserable. And for me, I don't like being in the house anymore. I need to put myself out there. And I think working in this industry as well, I've equated my success or lack of success because someone is probably prettier than me or smaller than me.
Oh, no.
And really, it could just be like, girl, you're probably just not good at it.
Or maybe your resume wasn't up to par. Like, there could be other reasons, but always...
my default is because you're bigger.
Oh.
And it's such an annoying thing because it creeps up in conversations out of nowhere. Like, my friend just told me last weekend, we were talking, and I forget what I said, but she was just like, why do you keep doing that? Like, she was annoyed. And I'm like, what?
At what?
She was like, you keep bringing up your weight. Like, no one said anything about your weight. You brought it up. And I'm just like, I didn't even notice I was doing that. And they're like, and I can imagine that's annoying. Like, girl.
Right.
I'm trying to be there. I'm your friend. I'm trying to be supportive. But Jesus is annoying. Like, you look fine.
So for me, I chose in 2018 to have the gastric sleeve. Mm-hmm. So I went from 230 to 150. And it's crazy because during that time, I remember men telling me, oh, well, I want to fuck you before you lose all that weight. Literally, men were upset that I was about to get smaller. And I'm still not super small. I'm still not skinny, but I remember feeling like, oh my God, how people view me is going to change because now I'm not this girl. Mm-hmm. And what's crazy is no one knew the boot thing, or I love getting dressed now, and I make fun with my friend because I used to wear, if it didn't have stretch, I couldn't wear it.
Oh yeah.
And she used to be so mad at me because it would be 22 degrees in New York and I would have leggings on. And she'd be like, bitch, put on something else. Not knowing, bitch, I can't fit anything else.
Mm-hmm. Even shopping in stores, like in person, is hard. So people are like, oh, let's go shopping. I can't do that. I have to shop online because Shein and Fashion Nova are the only two people that have cute stuff for me that I can
Shout out to them.
Yes.
Shout out to fast fashion being an option now.
I understand.
My mom growing up, it used to be like Torrid or things that were like really expensive. Mm-hmm. My mom, I remember having to shop growing up. It was different. Like her bras cost triple mine. All of those things. So is that it? With your weight now and your friends now telling you stop bringing it up, with therapy really letting you know that there's an issue, what else besides therapy do you plan to do?
So I too am getting the sleeve.
Have you already started going through the process?
Criteria. My psych evaluation was actually this month, so that's the last of the criteria. And
so can you, because I haven't even done a full breakdown, can you let people know what that process looked like? Because it could be lengthy, but there are steps.
Yes.
So you decided, you know what, I'm gonna I'm going to change this for myself. I'm going to have weight loss surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to our audience what those steps look like with you preparing now for that surgery.
First, I got a consultation. Well, let me rewind before that. When I was going to the doctor, they're telling me things to do so I can lose weight.
Okay.
And we were finding it's difficult for me to lose weight. I've done fast. I've done no meat. I've done.
Let them know you actually are not taking the easy way out.
Yes. I've had a trainer. One of my friends from high school who used to play in the NFL. He's an amazing speaker. Shout out to Jeremiah. He was a trainer for me. And what I noticed was I'm not losing weight. I'm just getting strong. Like I just was getting, because like this is like muscle here.
Hello,
this
my
is not
thighs
fat.
too,
I
girl.
all the time. That's when I'm like,
baby,
girl,
that's why they ain't going nowhere.
It's hard. But I started to realize I don't want to look like a linebacker. I want to like lose weight.
Right.
So my doctor brought it up, and I was like, I knew what it was, but I was like, am I supposed to be bigger for that? She was like, no, you can still qualify. So I got a consultation. They told me I qualify because my BMI is high, so I'm considered obese. And that was scared me when they said that, because I'm going home like, I'm obese? Like, I was right all along. I knew I was bigger than what I is. And they're like, no, it's a number thing. It has nothing to do with what you really look like.
It's an outdated metric system that actually, it helped me too. My BMI, I think you have to be above a 35. So
I'm a 42.
So if you are looking to get this surgery, BMI is based on height and weight from a way outdated thing that doesn't consider especially Black women in their curves.
Yep.
So above a 35 is what you need BMI, or you need healthcare issues, which is easy, like if you snore.
Yes,
that could actually,
I had to do a sleep apnea
test. Okay, keep going.
Tell me. So the first, they give you like a checklist, and I can't remember all the ones I did. There was so many, but I know I had to see a cardiologist.
Yep.
They sent me a sleep apnea test, and I low key wanted to cheat on it because I'm like, I really want to get the surgery. So I was like, should I snore? Should I fake a snore? But I don't have sleep apnea. I had to see pulmonary. I can't even say the word.
Okay.
PULMONY. Yes,
pulmonary. There we go.
And
I was like, who Paul? I ain't had to see Paul.
It was so many things on that list. I'm like, I ain't never seen this in a regular doctor. I had to get an endoscopy. I had to see a nutritionist.
Yep.
It was so many layers to it. Funny thing about it, I didn't even tell my family about it.
You didn't tell your family that you're choosing weight loss surgery?
No, because one, I didn't want unsolicited advice, because my sisters, I love them to death, but I know one of my sisters, my older sister, and she's a Capricorn, she's gonna be like, well, you know, actually, no, this is actually something that did happen, because I did tell her after I told her recently this month, and she was like, well, you know, people who get it, they don't maintain it, so make sure you maintain it. And I literally...
The negativity around weight loss surgery
was like,
crazy.
I have a whole team. I have a nutritionist. I don't need that. Just say, I'm happy for you. That's what you want to do. Like, that's it. And I remember one of my friends did actually cut off my friend for something like that too. Like,
what did they do?
The same thing. Like when I first was thinking about it, I sent it to her, and she was just like, "Well, why don't you just work out? Why don't you just?" And it's just like, okay, whatever. And I like said something. I didn't say like I want to say I was smart with her, but I was like, you know, well, I'm different. I'm actually going to maintain it because this is a lifestyle change, and I'm actually mentally going through this.
I guess that's where I want to end off with you. Making this decision by yourself, with you having people in your ears about it, you struggling with people's opinions on you through your entire life. What has been your deciding factor in making this life-changing decision to have the weight loss surgery?
I want to feel good about myself. I want to feel really confident, not the fake confident of waking up and telling myself you're beautiful. I actually want to feel beautiful. Like, I just want to feel it. I don't want someone to have to tell me. I don't want to have to deal with people reassuring me about how I feel about myself. I want to be confident in knowing, like I said what I said, I feel good.
Do you really, now, is weight then your only insecurity? Do you think that this weight loss surgery does change that for you?
A lot of my other insecurities came from me obsessing over my weight. So
okay, like what else?
It's like, okay, you're plus size, my nose has to be perfect. I have to have white teeth. It's like everything has to be perfect if you're going to be plus size. So I feel like once I tackle this, everything else will fall into place, because this is the one thing I've always been insecure about. And it's like for my whole life, 31 years of my life, I've been obsessing over this, and I feel excited about it because I'm like, now we'll get to a place where it's not just a what if. You're actually going to do the steps and you're going to maintain it. It's going to be a lifestyle change. And I'm also curious to see how people are going to treat me after.
Be ready.
Because I've been doing a lot
ready.
of research, TikToks of people who had this surgery, and the experience I'm hearing, and I'm just like, I'm ready. Because I'm ready to show
be ready.
people.
It has been, I am 5 years post-op.
Oh,
I got
wow.
my surgery in 2018. And I think like you, through therapy, I have been able to focus on so many more layers of my life because now my weight is not
The
an
big
issue.
determining factor.
I
Yeah.
will say though, it has created a new fear
Mm.
in I don't ever want to be big again.
Mm-hmm.
So where I live in fear, it's I don't want to get big again and I don't want to be poor again.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that I do to maintain, you will still stress over your weight, but like those numbers when you see them go down, I went from an 18 to an 8.
Mm.
And I can wear jeans with no stretch and I can wear boots. People don't even know the happiest thing about losing weight is not that now everyone has a different opinion of me and my weight. It's like
It's your options in
it's
clothing.
your options in life.
Mm-hmm.
I remember getting into a fight over my best friend because our only fight in life is because she didn't switch an airplane seat with me. I was in an emergency thing. And she didn't know. It was like, bitch, I want to switch seats, not because I want a window. I'm in one of those seats that is so hard that I'm
And you were in the middle seat?
it was just one of the airplane seats that, you know, like when you're in the exit row and it's really like solid and nothing goes up.
Yeah.
Bitch, I used to
You're
sneak
uncomfortable.
next. I was so uncomfortable. And because she didn't switch seats with me, that was our first and only fight. But it was because those insecurities with my weight, I didn't let people know.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited and I would love to maybe revisit this conversation
Yes.
after the surgery and after you experience the drastic weight loss and kind of just how you feel about yourself.
I'm nervous because I'm scared with the reality of just being reassured that you were being different. You were being treated different because of your weight. That's what I'm scared of.
What would be your advice before we get out of here to someone battling with the way they view themselves because of their body?
Therapy.
Okay.
I don't want to say the generic like love yourself because it's not that easy.
It's not.
But just be honest about your feelings. Be realistic. Like it is okay for you to have bad days, but don't let it consume you where you're not experiencing life. I've wasted so many years being obsessed on what I look like, and I probably self-sabotage a lot of experiences that could have been better for me, that could have catapulted my career because I'm obsessed over it. So get a handle on it, go to therapy, and make decisions based on you and not what other people tell you to do. Do what's best for you and be happy about it. And cut off anybody who makes you feel away. Unfollow those
Cut 'em
pages.
off.
Unfollow those pages that make you feel bad about yourself. I'm a believer in if I go to someone's page and like you ain't do nothing but you look good and I hate myself, I gotta unfollow you, baby.
Oh,
I have
wow.
To. I had to make those drastic like choices.
And do that. Gigi, thank you so much for opening up
you.
and sharing your story here. I'm sure that it resonates with so many other women listening. And I mean, to me, this platform lets people know how strong, like it's courageous of you to do so.
This is the first time I'm speaking on this. So.
It's very courageous to open up and say, listen, y'all, I've been insecure. I'm still insecure. And I'm going to work on changing that because it's debilitating and it's keeping me from living the life I deserve to live. And so just thank you for sharing that
Thank you
here.
for allowing this safe space. I feel really good talking about this here.
Oh, well, you can have my number. And like I said, I have been literally a voice and advocate for people going through with weight loss surgery. And it's not everyone's first option. A lot of times it is their last option.
Yeah.
And so
keep that in mind.
I would
You
love
just
to
wake
be
up and say, "I'm gonna
I would
take the
I would
easy way
love
out."
to be a mentor, a resource during that navigation
Thank
because I'm literally
you.
there for my mom right now.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, Gigi, thank you so much for joining us. And y'all make sure you stay tuned for Stats and Facts. I will be right back. What an amazing conversation with Gigi. She's about to be my VSG sister, okay? Now let's get into some stats and facts. It's estimated that around 2% of the population in the United States experiences body dysmorphia, and I only really think it's because not that many people are honest. I know it's so much more. Body dysmorphia affects both males and females, and many individuals first experience symptoms of BDD during their teenage years. The average age of onset BDD is around 16 to 17 years old, but like my guest here, it could be as early as 12, sometimes as early as 5. People are more than the way they look, all right? So please observe the words that you use when you compliment people, all right? I ain't never liked the word fluffy. If you think that you're experiencing body dysmorphia, please seek help from a licensed therapist or a healthcare professional. Also, lean into your friends and family, the ones that really, really, really know you and are willing to let you be you and share that same space as well. I don't know where I make it without my friends and family. And so make sure that you have that community. That's what we're building here on Period Sis. Before we get out of here, I want to again shout out Bel Air for letting us use their beautiful set here in New York City. Also, make sure you rate, subscribe, and review wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And if you're listening, make sure you head on over to our YouTube to catch and watch the very full episode here of Period Sis. Y'all, thank you for tuning in to yet another conversation on womanhood. Until next time, I'll see you. And that's on Period Sis.